cut in the budgets of most state agencies. What are 2 things you would do to correct the problem of our ongoing structural deficit?
District 7. You're up.
Thank you. Okay, so as a former member of the Appropriations Committee, this is something you look at like every day. I'm sure you can all see this. It's the general fund financial status of the state. And as has been indicated, there's some structural problems going out the next time. But the state budget, like any family budget, kind of ebbs and flows. The state budget, of course, depends a lot on the economic activity that is going on within the state. You'll see on here that, for instance, in 2014-15, the adjusted gross was adjusted increase revenues was 6.2%. So here's one key. Keep a robust cash reserve. That's what we did as members of the Appropriations Committee when I served. I'm very pleased that those that followed continued with that practice. So that when it is downgraded significantly, you do not have to race to cut the state budget on items that are important to all of us. I've got the South sign, so I'm going to abide by it. Thank you.
Tony Vargas, Legislative District 7. So first, the first thing that I would prioritize is I want to make sure that those that are earning more are paying their fair share. We clearly are seeing a discrepancy in the percentage that low-income families and individuals are paying in taxes overall. There clearly needs to be more done in this area. And I prioritize ensuring that higher wage, higher income earners are paying their fair share. Second, I want to make sure that we are doing more of our due diligence when we are examining the potential long-term impacts of any subsidies or any type of expenditures we're looking at. I know we do this. Clearly, there's more that needs to be done, especially we're looking by program and department by department, because it's not working by itself. And this is something I'm excited we're going to need to do across states, across the entire state, with other state senators that represent different constituencies, both urban and rural. And I'm proud to do that as the next state senator. Thank you.
Fabio, put the mic close to your mouth and speak more slowly, please. Thank you.
We were challenged with 2 things that we would do to help with the structural deficit. I'd like to start with, I don't think I would like to pay more taxes. So I would strongly encourage the state to focus on doing what it can to keep as much of its brain power in the form of its youth and students from leaving the state so that we can maintain and grow our tax base. On top of that, I would strongly encourage as much prioritization as we possibly can, and that comes in different forms. First and foremost, it has to be through transparency. What is the state offering to whom to stay and do business in this state? And then we do a cost-benefit analysis. Is it worth the jobs that they produce? Is it worth the tax base that they provide to us? If not, stop subsidizing that. If they do or encourage more growth in jobs, which equals an increase in tax base, then we continue doing it. Thank you.
Right. I've been in this job for 4 years. The least popular thing you can do is raise a tax, any kind of tax. The problem is that if we don't have a tax base, we can't fund essential social services, education, roads, things that get us to where we're going, right? So 2 years ago, I did the unpopular thing. At the risk of not getting reelected, at the risk of not having this job anymore, I voted to increase the gas tax. Because I recognize that almost 80% of the bridges in our state were not safe for people to drive on. To me, that seems like a crisis. And to me, that seems like a reasonable time to increase a tax. We are in crisis in our social services, in our health and human services. We had 26 children die before their first birthday last year. I'm not talking about raising taxes, but I want to make sure that we're funding the things that really matter to us and taking care of individuals who are vulnerable in our state. Thank you.
Jill Brown. So 2 things that I would work on, that I would do, is there's going to need to be a restructuring of taxes, but that can't be that hurts working families or people that are right on the edge. So I think we need to look at tax incentives. The tax incentive programs need to be really targeted. They can't be blanket. They have to target high-paying jobs because, like Senator Howard said, we have to grow our tax base. We have to absolutely grow our tax base. But I also would like to look at the long view. So what's the long view is that we need to be healthier as Nebraskans to overcome the structural deficit. We need to find ways to invest in our health care, our mental health care, and let me tell you, early childhood education. So every dollar that we're willing to invest in early childhood education, there's going to be a $7 return on that investment to a $15 return on that investment. So if we're willing to do that as Nebraskans and invest in each other, it's going to work. And it's going to be a long view, but it's going to work.
Justin Wayne, District 13. I agree with everything that was said up here. We have to invest. There's two things I would do is grow our economy, which I'll talk about more in the next question. And the second thing, we have to make sure we understand we cannot cut our way to prosperity. We have to invest in our future. And there's a couple things we can do, but I want to mention, because we only have 45 seconds left, this requires leadership. Leadership that I've already displayed on Omaha Public Schools when I asked for an organizational chart. And the reason I asked for that is I want to make sure we put dollars back into the classroom. And this year, we were able to give our teachers one of the highest, biggest pay raises that they had in a long time because we had tough leadership. Also this year, the learning community was gutted. And then the first time we looked at it, we were going to lose Omaha Public Schools $27.5 million to Omaha Public Schools. Marion Fay, Tony Vargas, and myself went down and worked with senators, looked at the appropriations, looked at where the dollars were, and we ended up turning that to a 5.3 gain. We knew we weren't going to save the learning community, but we wanted to make sure that our kids in Omaha Public Schools wasn't impacted to the severity that they first projected. And that's the kind of leadership we need.